Hello everybody! Okay, so this is the first ever Instagram Live art club. Incredibly exciting, and please bear with me because no doubt I will knock things over and stumble over my words and mumble and all sorts of things, but thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm really excited to be doing this with you all. And this is the end of my first week doing art club for kids. Although a lot of people have said to me, do you have to be a kid to do this? And no, absolutely not. Anybody can do this. It's just a bit of fun and hopefully a bit relaxing and a way to get creative. So today we are going to be doing an octopus picture. And hopefully you've seen the photo of the octopus that I posted online. If you haven't, then I'm going to show you now. And I picked this animal just because it's fairly fun animal to do. I love painting sea creatures, and it's this guy here. I'm pretty crazy about anything to do with the sea myself. So we're going to be doing this guy, and here's one I prepared earlier, very Blue Peter of me, which is this guy here. So we're going to be using pen and watercolours to create this artwork, and I'm also going to be showing you how to use sea salt to create a really nice water effect, which makes it look like the light is bouncing off the water. So you might end up with something a little bit like this. So first things first, I have blue tacked my piece of card down, only because I'm going to be hair drying it dry just for speed today, and I didn't want it to blow away. So if you are going to be hair drying your artwork as well, you'll need to blue tack it down. So move you over here. Right, so here you can see my piece of paper that I have blue tacked down. Sorry, I'm just gonna... Sorry, just getting my angle right here for you. Okay, I'm gonna need my beautiful assistant to help me here, bear with me. Hen, can you come and help me? Sorry, ripening the cameraman to give me a hand here. This tripod is doing me and it keeps swiveling around. So, bear with me here for 1 second. Okay, please can you hold that just like that for me? Thank you. Perfect. Okay, so here we go. Piece of paper, pen. And I'm using a pen here that has ink in it because I'm going to be using the ink to create some lovely paint effects. So I've got my octopus, and I'm going to be starting with his head. We need to use a big circular shape to make that head there. And I'm going to be trying to make him take up the most of the page. So starting from the top of his head and coming down. And I'm using very light strokes to make this loose curved shape. Okay, now I'm going to be moving over here towards his eye. So this eye here. And I'm making that bulbous shape out to the side. And his other eye is about here. Sorry, my left-handedness is a bit of a block for you, but doing this eye here. And coming down from his eye, down the side of his head, and adding in this curved shape here. He has a little flap, I suppose, a little fold in the back of his head there. So I'm just adding that in, and I'm doing very loose pen lines as I'm drawing this today. And now I'm going to zoom out, and we're going to move on to doing his tentacles. And so you can see the long swoop down there. So that long curved shape I'm going to be putting on my page. And he's moving off in the water this direction, so his tentacles are running behind him. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Now, do bear with me, I need to do this at quite a speed. And I'm using a swirling circular shape with my pen to create his little suckers. So it's a very loose movement as I'm drawing him. And he's got another tentacle coming down here. So I'm adding that in. Lots of suckers coming down here. And he's got one curving underneath his body here. So I'm going to try and add that in, and I will use my water in a second to create some shadow underneath there. And he's got another one coming down here. And one curling up here. So as you can see, I'm just using my pen to do lots of light strokes and then some loose circles just to do the suckers. Okay, and if you're copying me at home, don't worry if you're not doing it at quite this speed. You can always watch this and then have a go afterwards. Okay, so nearly there now with the tentacles. Got some curly ones down here. And next I'm going to be having a look at these darker patches in the octopus, because I'm going to be doing lots of pen lines to create those darker patches. And then when I add the connection's gone bad. Sorry guys, I hope you didn't miss that bit there. I think the connection's a little bit dodgy, but I'm going to be using lots of pen lines here to make those darker patches. Alright, so lots of pen lines coming up here. Guys, it would pour. Okay, hopefully I've got you back. So lots of pen lines here just to create those darker patches, because in a second I'm going to show you how we can use the water to make those darker. And now I'm just going to do his eye shape up here at the top. You can see his eye there is like a slanted line straight across, so I'm trying to do that with my pen. And there's just a hint of his other eye over here. Alright, so next I'm going to get the paintbrush and the water, and I'm going to make these patches darker using the water. And because I've used a pen that has ink within it as opposed to a biro, you can see how when I put the water over the ink, it just loosens up the colour and enables me to create some shading with this ink. And that's really nice because underneath the water there will be lots of areas where the animals are quite dark, and then there will be lighter parts where the sunlight is hitting them. So underneath here I'm trying to make his tentacles that little bit darker. And I'm just coming back to my water pot over here to wet my brush again. Okay, now up here by the back of his head we need this to be quite dark, so I'm adding quite a lot of water in there to the ink. And underneath his eye and over here. So I'm just using that colour made from the pen ink to create some areas of lightness and darkness. And I'm creating lightness just by leaving them as they are. Okay, so not too bad for Mr. Octopus there. So next I am going to be doing the inky parts, which are making the water all around here. So I'm going to my watercolour paints, got my palette here, my trusty palette, and I'm going to be using lots of different shades of blue. So I'm going to be using a dark blue from over here and lighter blues, and I can also mix them together as I want to, and also add more water when I want to make them that bit lighter blue. Oh, a few splatters over, my connection's gone bad. Sorry about that, guys. The connection seems to be cutting in and out a bit. But the bottom of where my octopus is in this patch of sea is going to be quite dark and murky, so I'm going in with my darker blue, and I'm quite loosely just painting in and around my octopus. And I'm not coming too close to him, because if I get this colour on the tentacles, that black will start to run. So I'm just being quite rough with this. I quite like this effect to be quite loose when I'm painting. So coming in here with some dark blue, some murky patches down in the corners here, and I could add in some green as well if I wanted to. You might like to give that a go. I think a really fun part of painting is mixing. Sorry about the cutting in and out. Seeing what colours you can make. So going in with some darker colours here. And as I come towards the top of my page, I want to be using quite a lot of water, because that's where the sun would be coming through the sea. And I'm going over here with a slightly, and I can mix them together just by bringing the water close to the edge between the two colours and helping them to blend. All right. So in a minute, I'm going to be showing you how to do something really fun using the salt. And we're going to be sprinkling the sea salt over the top of the wet paint. And that's going to create air. The light is... Sorry guys, I think the connection here isn't great. But it's going to create areas where the light is sparkling through the water. Okay, so here I've got my salt, and I am literally going to be grinding the salt onto the wet paper, onto the wet paint in those areas of blue. And I'm going to be quite liberal with this. That means I'm going to be applying quite a lot of salt. And I'm going to try and do it in the areas where the paint is really wet. Now what the salt starts to do, and you're absorbing some of the colours. And if it doesn't look like it's soaking up too much, you can add in a little bit more water to those areas. And what that salt will do is take in some of the colour and leave us with some lovely little white speckled patches once it's dry. So that is the end of our artwork. What I'm going to do now is very quickly blow dry a couple of the areas salt has on your colours. So I'm just going to get my hairdryer. Here we go. And I'm going to hair dry some areas of it. Now just be careful if you're trying to do this at home. Obviously the hairdryer is blowing warm air at your picture, and therefore the paint might start to run. So think about the direction that the paint might run in. We don't want the paint to run into the octopus too much. Okay guys, so I'm just going to, the salt has made that effect. So if I have a look down here, you can see that the colours have started to marble together, and where I've dried it, I can rub the salt off and you end up with this beautiful sort of marbling of the blues. Now the best thing to do with this is just to let it dry naturally and air dry, and that way once it's all done you can rub the salt off and you'll see beautiful marbling of all the different blues, and it creates a really lovely scene. So this is my octopus. I would love to see yours. Please tag me in your pictures once they're done. You can use the hashtag I see Kids Art Club. Those are the letters IC and Kids Art Club. Really looking forward to seeing what you have made, and I hope that the connection today wasn't too patchy for you. It did seem to cut in and out quite a bit, but hopefully you caught that lesson, and I can't wait to see all of the beautiful things that you've made. See you soon. Bye.